Welcome to another episode of Roll or Die. Today's guest is probably one of the most accomplished judokas in Australia. She has come highly regarded, many people have requested that we have this particular guest on. She is a 5-time Olympian. She has won a bronze medal at the Sydney Games, gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. She is wife and partner of Dan Kelly, and she is Maria Pekli. Thanks for joining us, Maria.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Maria. We were just saying before we pressed record, I kind of feel like I know you. I don't at all, but I feel like I know you. My main training partner at Dominance MMA in Thomastown is K-Dog. So Big Kieran, every time that he can, he gets 5 minutes, he's talking about judo, and he's always bringing you into conversations and just how amazing you are at judo. So I really want to start back in the day. So can you just take us back to when you first started? It was in Hungary, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So I'm originally from Hungary, as you can probably sense it. I have a strong accent. I started my judo career when I was around 12 and a half, 13 years old in Hungary by accident, really. It's a big sport there, and the coach came to our school and just did a bit of recruitment drive, and almost all of my classmates and myself included started on the journey of judo. I just kind of, I find my place. I progressed quite quickly and started winning matches and medals. And I find myself being only one from the class, like after a year and a half passed. So I stayed. Wow. And I'm still around.
What made you so naturally good so quick and so early, do you think, Maria?
I'm not sure. I think it's just the internal drive of wanting to excel at something. Like I can't call myself as being an exceptionally talented athlete in different elements, but with the sport being so complex and there's so many things, you have to be good at so many things, but you don't really have to be exceptional at everything. But if you can put it all together and you have a mindset that's kind of suitable for combat sports or grappling sports, then you can definitely succeed. And if you have a will to work very hard, which I was always a hard worker, I would consider myself more of a hard worker than a talent. But basically my talent was that I was a hard worker. So.
And Maria, what was it that this person said that got most of your classmates so interested? Because if you don't mind me saying, sometimes judo, it may not have that appeal for everybody. So do you remember what was said that made it so appealing?
It's not just about what's said, but they also did a demonstration of throws. And, when you first see people throwing each other, flying through the air, it's really captivating. And you wonder how one is able to perform a throw like that, but on the other hand, how the person receiving is actually not getting hurt. So it's kind of that element appealed to me. And the coach was a very charming individual. So he appealed to all of us, girls, boys, everyone, and just kind of got stuck there. And I still have a very good relationship with this particular coach who started me on the journey.
That's amazing, isn't it? Was that age, was that too young? Sorry, was that too old? Like, was 12 or 13, were you kind of considered like a older student? Like, are their kids sort of really starting quite young, in Hungary?
Sorry, guys, my dogs, I think I'm going to have to stop them from barking.
That's right.
That's right. Brentos is actually a dog trainer. Maybe we could get Brentos to do something to help you with them. I thought it was your dog, Brentos.
Do you want to stop for a second and I let them outside?
Yeah.
Our editor can sort this out. Yeah, you do what you need to do. No problem.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Now she stopped now.
Okay. Or we could keep this in for the authenticity of the podcast. That's what we do as well sometimes. So all good.
Yeah, I'll go through some dog training tips later. Sorry, Maria, I'll just repeat it to say that was clear. So was if you're starting around 12 or 13 years of age, was that considered old for people to be starting or not too bad back in Hungary in the day?
So back then it wasn't old. It was female judo just become more and more popular. So it wasn't even in the Olympic Games when I started. So it just become more and more girls starting, but it wasn't that much competition as it is now. So I would say if you start judo now at the age of 13, you're probably a little bit old, like considering that we have international competitions and international circuits where the kids go on tournaments when they're 14. So I would say yes, but back in 1887 or whatever it was, can't even remember, it was fine for me to start then. And I was quite athletic, like reasonably okay at everything. So I picked up the skills reasonably quickly.
Was there many females, many girls back then doing combat sports? Or doing judo specifically?
Nowhere near as many as now. Like in Hungary, it's quite popular. They have Olympic medalists, world champions. So it's quite popular there. It's less popular in Australia, sadly. But yeah, not that many. I think the average of around 30% participation rate is quite fair.
What's the early training like? What was the early sort of, first few years? Was it, how was it?
Well, the very first few years is, first of all, you have to learn how to fall in judo, so you can receive all of those big throws. So you spend quite a bit of time at the beginning of learning those skills, and they give you little tricks and tips of how to actually, fall from the height, jump long distance and roll and fall, all of that. You learn it in the first couple of months, and you start learning the skills associated. And you guys probably know that we got a grading syllabus, so everyone around the world is quite unified. So almost all countries do the same grading system, and you learn your throwing skills following that grading system. So I think you can get a belt every 6 months when you first start, and then the period extends between gradings as you progress through. But at the beginning, when you're learning, like you include 5 throws in one, 6 in the other, it's like somewhat adjusted by the class, but you kind of earn your belts reasonably quickly at the beginning.
And that was over in Hungary. What brought you to Australia? Tell us about how you came here.
But that was like a personal decision through a relationship, which wasn't with Daniel. So that was prior to Daniel, knowing Daniel. And I come over, and then I stuck here.
At what age was that? When was that you came here?
24. I was 24. It was after the Atlanta Olympic Games. I was 24 years old.
Can we touch on the
share how you
training
met
leading
Dan?
up to Olympics?
Did you meet on the mats?
Sorry,
we've got 2 questions. You go, Brett.
So, no, that's right. Can we touch on some training leading into like those higher level competitions? So whether it's Com Games or Olympics or Europeans, what was your training load sort of? So, not dismissing the black belt, but you're sort of saying you get like, somebody who's a black belt now and you've been a black belt for a long time. You're a black belt, everybody at those levels of black belts, right? So you get there, it's obviously a journey to get there, but then leading into those higher level competitions, how does the training look, Maria?
We do a lot of sparring, like we call it randori in judo. You guys call it rolling. So basically, you do a lot of those, and as you progress, you go and have higher and higher level opponents to challenge you more and more, because it's very easy to grow out a small environment, as probably both of you experienced, that if you stay in the same little environment, the development stops. So, we get challenged, we get taken to training camps in different places, sometimes to Japan, where the volume of this sparring is very high. So you get a lot of time on the mat doing randori. And then sometimes we would go to a different environment, say in Europe, where the camps like a training session is shorter, but the intensity is a lot higher. Or you get taken to Korea where people are extremely tough when it comes to the sparring, and you kind of have to just adopt to the different environment, and you use your skills. So you do your technical skills mostly at home, but then you have to practice that under pressure. And then that's what we would do.
And talk to us a little bit as well about the Olympics. I mean, you've been to 5 Olympics. So I'm just reading here off your Wikipedia page. There's only a couple of other people, judokas, that have competed in 5 Olympics all around the world internationally. So you are very highly accomplished. And I mean, the Olympics is the, that's the pinnacle of the sport. Oh, we've lost Brentos. Okay. Not sure where he's gone. He'll pop back in and we'll just keep talking amongst ourselves. Yeah. So tell us, what's it like? We've had a couple of other guests on who've also been to the Olympics, but it's just, I'm sure for our listeners, they would love to hear, what it actually feels like.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And like the first one I went to, I was 20, so still very young. And it's just the atmosphere, just the different sports. You see all of these high-profile athletes that you normally only see on the television. You eating in the dining hall with them, and it's like an amazing experience. But I have to say, the first one for me was I was still very young. I wasn't that experienced. I was very privileged to be selected to go to the Olympic Games. But it has given me such a big drive that I really wanted to do it again, and I really wanted to perform better because I didn't really perform in my first Olympic Games. And it's just given me so much drive and goal to progress myself and do better, and just see athletes on the podium and the happiness and all of that comes with it. It's pretty special. And then, of course, when you have one at home in your backyard, when the entire stadium is just cheering for you, it's really hard to even describe.
Yeah, so tell us about that time that you got the bronze in the Sydney Olympics. What was that like for you?
It's amazing. It's like you in a dream. It's like you in a dream. Like we had at the stadium we were in was about 10,000 people, and it was just amazing. Just amazing the reception that you get. But even then, the opening ceremony, I never had that many goosebumps on my body when you walk into the stadium and the entire stadium is just cheering on the Australian team. It's pretty cool.
There were hundreds of 100,000 people or something, weren't there?
Yeah, it was amazing. It's amazing.
And then the following Olympics after that, if you don't mind me saying, you were obviously a little bit older, you're into your 30s by then, especially for, grappling arts are very hard on the body. How was that for you? And then aiming for those following Olympics as as you were getting older, how did you manage that?
So the one in Athens, I was actually injured. I had a knee injury that didn't get fixed, and it bothered me throughout the entire preparation. And I didn't perform the way I would have really liked. So that was an amazing experience. But I come back and I got my knee fixed, and then we had a child with Daniel. So the last Olympic Games I did, I was 36, and I think I am more proud of fighting for a medal. I fought for a bronze medal in that Olympic Games as well. I'm more proud of the fact that I fought for a medal as a mother with a child. Eric's got a chronic, a pretty serious illness as well. And just being able to pull myself together with everything else that I had to do in life, and go there and perform at an age after being I was 36 in June, and I think we competed in August. So it was pretty amazing. And I knew at that point, I was done. Like I walked off the mat and I knew I was done. That was it. I was very happy with how I ended my career. Like after Athens, I wasn't happy because I didn't perform. I just didn't feel I fulfilled my destination yet, so to say. And but after Beijing, it was definitely an amazing experience for me as well.
Yeah, yeah, no, most definitely. So you feel that do you feel that your drive sort of changed towards your sport as a mother, as you became a mother, like your inner voice or whatever became stronger?
Yeah, absolutely. It was just knowing that I can fit in what I could fit in. Like, I become extremely efficient with my training because I only had a certain small window of time in the day when I could train. And I would just use that. Like, I remember I used to be pretty stressed and taken back when I lost prior to that. But even at training, if things didn't go too well at training, I would get quite upset about it. But after I went through everything I went through with having the child, and then the child being diagnosed with an illness, it just became so much not so, like, I realized that that training session is not going to end my life, kind of thing. I just went, the whole perception of life has changed for me.
It put things a bit more in perspective, you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And just, you cherish every day that you have, and you make the most of every day that you have.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you comfortable to talk about your son and what's happened there? Can you tell our listeners?
Yeah. So basically, our oldest son, has a genetic illness that it's actually a recessively inherited illness called cystinosis. It's very rare. There's only about 2,000 people in the whole entire world. And I remember when he was first born, everybody said how amazing he's gonna be because he's from Daniel and I, and then he was diagnosed with this illness that actually come from us. It's kind of slaps you in the face a little bit. So yeah, but he's doing okay. He had a kidney transplant 5 years ago from me, and but he's doing well. He's looking after himself now. He's an adult now.
Yeah.
And trying his very best.
So you gave your kidney, basically.
Yeah.
That's in order for him to have for his improvement in his health.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, and that doesn't affect you at all. What does that mean? Sorry for my ignorance. From a medical point of view, do you have any consequences or?
No. So I'm fine. My kidney function is a little bit lower than it would be if I had two kidneys, but I'm fine. I just have to look after myself, make sure that I drink a lot of, a lot of water, just same sort of things that most people would have to do anyway. So I'm not negatively affected. I don't feel any different.
Yeah. And so what has that meant for him? That's given him like a totally new lease on life sort of thing?
What he has, it affects the whole body. So he was in kidney failure when he had to have the kidney transplant. So it kind of saved his life. But going forward, he still has to do a lot, like lots of medication, looking after himself.
Wow. Sorry, I sort of touched on it earlier, but I think we had a crossover with Brent, who's dropped out. Hopefully he'll be able to join us again. Can you tell us a little bit about how you met your husband? How did you meet Daniel?
So we were on the same team for a long time. So we actually knew each other for quite some time before we got become a couple. And it's just kind of progressed from knowing each other to more.
So you met on the mats? Or no?
Well, not on the mats. You can say we met on the mats, but like we were in the same national team. So we met as members of the Austrian team.
Yeah. Fantastic. So yeah, that's amazing. And what is it like, both of you being grapplers? Is it, in terms of outside of training, like, do you kind of compartmentalize your training and leave everything separate, or does it sort of affect your home life, things like that?
Well, I can't say it doesn't affect our home life because it's kind of our life. So, as you know, like Daniel has a Resilience training center which is his life, and also we both work in judo. So I work for Judo Australia as the general manager of performance and pathway, and Daniel works for Combators, which is our high performance provider, as the head coach. So he's the senior head coach. And then we got our other son, who is 15, turning 16 soon. He's into judo, and he's progressing really well. Like, he's the number one cadet male athlete in the country. Cool. So we kind of live this life to the fullest, so to say, every day.
Yeah. And what about what you're doing right now in terms of, I think when we were arranging this recording, you're coaching now. So what is your role now in that?
So like I said, I'm the general manager of Performance and Pathway, which sounds like a fancy name, but basically I'm just running the Pathway program for Judo Australia, and I'm working with combatants, with the high performance athletes, and just planning our programs, planning our travel. So I was away. I just came back on Tuesday from Asia. I went with the Pathway team to two Asian Cups. Just basically helping the next generation of athletes to hopefully get to where I was. Really, that's the aim. That's the aim.
And how's it looking like the judo in Australia? Like you said, it's not as many people do it here as what we're doing it perhaps in Hungary. But what's the future look like? Is it growing? Is there more people taking it up, especially kids, or not so much?
It would be better to have more. In terms of our standing internationally, we have improved quite a bit. We have really good pathway programs now, so the kids get exposure to international competition at quite young. We had someone fight for a world medal this year, which hasn't happened for 22 years for us in judo.
Wow.
So that's kind of, it's actually one of our club members, Aoife Coughlan, you may have heard. It's a family of judokas as well. So she's very, very close of winning a world or Olympic medal. And it is not easy in judo to win one of those. Because we're progressing, but so does the rest of the world.
Yeah.
It's like many countries do judo with kids like a high performance sport. So they specialize really young, and they just, extremely strong. They get them into organized high performance systems from 12, 13 years old. So we're kind of competing with that, with limited government funding and with limited members.
So ideally, to improve the participation rate in judo in Australia would help a lot if we had better government funding.
I don't think I think we just need more exposure. Like, you guys, BJJ gets a lot of members. We somewhat, I think, get less. It is a very difficult sport. And we need to move towards being so much competition oriented to be more of like a lifestyle and just an outlet, like how BJJ is.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit harder because of the aspect of falling. Like it's not a sport that someone as an adult would keenly take on, for example.
Look, 100%. I mean, it's very hard on the body. It's especially if maybe as a kid, if you start and you're still, you can learn to fall easily and your body adapts to it. But I guess just the stress on the joints is probably a big off-put for many people to take it up. But I mean, how can you avoid that? That's judo,
very much. It's part of it. Although we do like kata, which is just a form work when you kind of walk through and you do throws, but not to the extent that we would be doing in a competition environment.
Hey, Maria.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, there's no doubt that there's definitely a huge advantage to people that do jiu-jitsu who have a judo background. What sort of advice would you give to people who are, because the majority of our listeners are probably just jiu-jitsu people rather than judokas, if they're looking to, add some judo to their jiu-jitsu game, what sort of advice would you have? Hey, Bridges.
I would definitely tell them to learn a few techniques that are relevant to the takedowns that you use. Because I know BJJ takedowns very similar, more use of wrestling style takedown, whereas the judo style takedowns are very surprising. So the throws are quite surprising for a person, and you can very easily transition from throwing somebody into a groundwork technique, but the speed is a lot faster. We do the groundwork a lot faster, so moving between techniques is a lot faster, and the connection, like we also do, I would say judo is about 80% standing, 20% on the ground, but mostly based on transition. So, which means you throw someone and you straight or knock them down and straight away follow it up with an action on the ground. So that part, if you learn that part, you could be really good at BJJ.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you could anyway, but just the competition side of it, because that surprise element and the speed element that is involved is quite useful.
One of the words, Maria, that Kieran has spoken about and used in regard to you is the word resilience. So you spoke really early in your, sort of when you first started judo, that mentally you were quite strong and you sort of pushed through and you ended up being sort of the only one in your class that continued on. Is that something you can speak to? What makes you resilient and how, mentally strong you actually are?
Look, I don't know what made me be like that, but I didn't have an easy childhood, and I don't want to say that it's got to do with that, but somehow I feel like that, the easier life is, the harder it's to be resilient, because you kind of, it's hard to deal with disappointments, whereas I had a lot of disappointments, so I kind of felt like when I'm doing the judo, I'm controlling everything that's in my power. So I'm totally in control of my, my training, my destiny, and I always focus on that, and just learning to come back from disappointments, really, and have the ability to go again and not give up.
So is that similar to what you were saying after the Athens Olympics, perhaps, where you felt that level of disappointment was part of the driving force for you to go for one more in Beijing? That sort of thing, or not so much?
No, I wouldn't, not so much. I didn't really have, when I finished competing in Athens, obviously we had the plans of having children, but I didn't really think beyond that competition at the time. So I was kind of, okay, this is it. I was disappointed with how I went, but I didn't think that I was gonna try again. And then as time progressed, and Daniel decided that he wanted to go to the Olympics, and I said that maybe then I want to go as well. And then the two of us decided that we're gonna go together, and we actually went together. So because Daniel's been to 4 Olympic Games as well.
Oh, and I didn't know that. So you guys went together.
We went together where we were in the same team for 3 Olympics.
Yeah. Has that
then,
happened in judo before? There's been a husband-wife team? That sounds like probably something. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are some others around who, I don't think we're unique in that regard, but maybe we're unique in the fact that we have 9 Olympics between the two of us.
Yeah.
He went to 4 and I went to 5, so that's a lot of Olympic Games.
I also think there would be very, very few people who have done 5 Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Like in any sport. Like 5 Olympic Games, we were talking about this, like that's 20 years, literally at an elite level, So you don't start off going to the Olympic Games. There's obviously years and, years of preparation before that too. So you've spent a long time, really at the top of your game, Maria. And for those wondering, before this podcast, I actually jumped on YouTube, and there are a whole bunch of your matches on YouTube as well, Maria. So I was having a bit of a look, and it's crazy. Like judo is when you see every Olympic that comes around now, I'm trying to watch judo because I find it as I get a little bit more understanding, it gets better and better. I think probably any sport when you know a little bit more. But yeah, watching your judo, in the YouTube clips that are up, you're a phenomenal athlete, Maria.
I don't know. Thank you. It's a lot better now because we have every match recorded now. Back then, it was quite rare that you have your matches on YouTube or things like that. But now we got amazing databases, so the athletes are so well prepared. We know and watch. There's competition every weekend, and you watch them and you analyze, and like that part of the sports have developed a lot, and a lot of it become like at the higher end where we are competing is the strategy and the tactics are so important because every single athlete is so well prepared. It's very rare that you don't find a physically and technically well prepared athlete. So the minute differences between them will have the the person winning who can handle either the environment better or just had a better strategy on the day. And we have that for a while now. We raised some athletes in Australia who are amazing athletes and are so very close, and you make a tiny mistake in judo and you can lose the match. That's just very rare that you get a second chance these days.
Can you talk to us, Maria, about like for instance that high level athlete, that Olympian nowadays? What does like a training block look like for that person?
So
like let's say it's 3 months out from the Olympics or something.
Okay, so most athletes these days who are trying to go to the Olympics, they would be in some sort of a high performance system. So even for us, sorry, my phone. We have a national centralized system here in Melbourne, in Albert Park, next to the VIS, and basically the athletes train there every day, 6 days a week, or doing judo 6 days a week at a very high level. Their whole training is extremely structured. We got standards of strength and conditioning that we want all the athletes to meet even before we can talk about them progressing to the next level. So everything is very, very, very organized, very high level, high standard. And the more people we get to train in that style, the better we will become. But it's still a long way away, because when you're in a club, you kind of do it for the enjoyment. It's not so much with the high performance sport in mind. Whereas if you want to go to the Olympics, that mindset has completely have to change. And the commitment, the lifestyle, you run your life around your judo. You have to prepare your life around your training. And that includes your meals, your sleeping, like everything is so structured.
How would you say judo's changed, especially in Australia, from when you first came here to now? Like, I know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has grown exponentially. It's on every street corner now. Whereas I started, 16 years ago, and it was hardly anybody even knew what it was. How has judo changed in the last however many years for you?
I think it's so that the circles where I move is in the competition area. It's just the professionalism required from everyone, from the coaches to the athletes. It's very different from what it used to be. So that's definitely like we would love to have more kids. It's actually a very good sport for kids to learn the resilience, to learn the discipline, to learn to get up and go again. That kind of stuff. It also gives you skills. The falling skills are very transferable to everyday life, like everything. You fall down the stairs, and if you know how to fall, it's less likely you're going to crack your head open, or the sort of skills are very transferable. And I know some of the football clubs do it, some of the rugby clubs do it for that particular reason. And it's the same that's why I think it's very good for BJJ too, because if you learn that, learn those skills, it really helps with your game afterwards. Yeah.
What about things like cutting weight? So your first Olympics to the last Olympics, how would something over that 20-year period, what was the science behind it back in the day? Did it stay the same for you? What did that look like?
Yeah. For me, obviously, as I gotten older and had a child, my body weight changed a little bit. My body composition changed a little bit. The biggest thing for me is I never like to be sitting more than 5% outside my weight division. If I did, I would find that the weight cut wasn't good for me. And it recently changed now, but back when I was competing, we would weigh in the morning. So if you're cutting too much weight, you can't rehydrate, you can't get back to your best performance. But having said that, we are kind of a strength-based sport as well. So if you're too light, you give away too much advantage to the other person. So finding that balance is important. The strategies, the weight cutting strategies have generally changed. Some of them I'm not a big fan, like water loading, for example. I'm not a fan of it at all because, unless it's done very, very professionally and with supervision of a medical professional, it can be actually very dangerous for someone. And also with us, I find it is if you can't reheart rate well enough, you actually can't compete well.
Yeah.
So I don't suggest, we don't recommend it. What we recommend is for people to be in a healthy body composition. And we don't talk about looks. We talk about performance based. What composition is best for performance for each individual athlete. And you guys probably know this, but we got tall ones, short, stocky ones, because we get put into a weight division, but not everybody looks the same. Everybody looks different. And then you have a large variety of techniques that you can use that's suitable for your body shape and size, and also based on the opponent's shape and size. It's got nothing to do with the looks. It's all got to do with performance. So.
And did you find it different for you doing that weight cut the last Olympics as like a 36-year-old versus how it was for you in your 20s?
It was just not really. It's just a discipline. I needed to be very disciplined with my diet, disciplined with not letting my weight go. It was a little bit harder, I must admit, than when I was younger, but also I was a lot stronger physically. Like I had more muscle mass than I had.
Did you change divisions over time, Maria?
I did, but not at the Olympics. So the first one I did, it used to be 56 kilo, and then they changed it to 57, but it's very much the same thing. But as I was progressing, I went from 48 to 52 and then 57, and I stayed at that category until I stopped competing.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, I didn't stay that weight. I stayed at that category.
but that's okay too, right? Like getting to that spot every 4 years to be in your peak physical condition, like it's impressive. It really is.
Yeah, we also do a lot of competitions. Like qualifying for the Olympics for judo is really, really hard. You have to be in the top 17 in the world, and they take 6 results from 1 year and 6 results from the second year. So you basically have to attend high-level international competitions at least 10 to 12 times a year. So it's not like it's not like the MMA guys who fight maximum twice a year. We have to cut weight back-to-back weekends. So it's not adventurous for us to be too heavy. Yeah.
Is there anything you feel, Maria, in judo that can bring more people to starting judo up? So whether it's kids or whether it's adults, is there anything that you look at that judo can do better, or the Australian Judo Federation, or whatever? Like, is there anything that can bring more people in?
Look, this is a project for our entire federation to try and increase participation. And when we look at participation from that side, there's 2 components. Obviously, the registered participants is one thing, but people who do judo or exposed to judo at some point is another thing. So there's actually a lot of people who try judo or do a little bit of judo or knows about judo, or like we in the sporting school program. So some schools get exposed to judo. I think we need to do more of that if we can. Like in Europe, Asia, like Japan, it's part of the curriculum. Every university, every school has judo. In Europe, in Hungary, where I come from, everyone has to do 6 months of martial art. So, because judo is popular, people will choose judo. So after that, you've done your 6 months, there's a lot of people who will go and embed themselves in clubs. So that's something that we need to do more. I think one problem for us, we need more qualified coaches. We need more coaches who believe that they can make money from judo. And this is something that BJJ has over judo. I think that all the clubs or club coaches, this is their livelihood. So they will put extra effort in to get more members and very professional environments, professional clubs. We need more of that. We have a lot of clubs that are more hobby clubs or small clubs where the coach is just a volunteer coach, or it's their hobby and they do it like twice a week. So you can't really increase participation like that because they have no capacity. So we need more professional clubs.
Maybe we need like a really, really good judo movie, you know, like the 2025 version of like Karate Kid, but
Yeah, that would
judo.
be wonderful. We actually had a movie just recently released, but it was a blind judoka. They actually filmed parts of it in one of our judo clubs. Yeah. It was more of a love story than anything else, but there was a little bit of judo in it.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, that's cool because, like you were saying, I mean, it is very spectacular to watch, really, to be honest, even though I do jiu-jitsu, sometimes it's quite boring to watch jiu-jitsu, whereas judo is quite exciting and it's, the throws are the highlights. So, yeah, I think that a little bit of publicity would go a long way to helping grow the sport.
Yeah, for sure. And no doubt that's a project for our federation to get involved and, go to places where we find more participants.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think we are almost out of time. It's, as I said, been a little bit of negotiating for us to get this happening. Thank you so much for giving up your time. You're a super, super busy woman. We just do a little bit of a pop quiz at the end here that Brentos has a couple of questions, and you can give as much of an answer, as long as an answer or as short as an answer as you choose. So go for it.
Okay.
Let's do this. Okay, some easy ones. iPhone or Samsung?
Samsung.
Beautiful. Love it already. Strength or flexibility?
Ooh, strength.
Probably makes sense. Pasta or rice?
Pasta.
What's your favorite throw?
My favorite throw?
Yeah.
It's called seven nuggets, a shoulder throw. Yeah.
Nice. Steak or chicken?
Chicken.
Yeah. That's an unusual one. All the boys just go
Yes,
steak.
they do. They all do.
I know.
Who is the greatest of all time for you in judo?
Oh, there are quite a few of them actually. We have one guy I loved is a Japanese Nomura, 3-time Olympic champion. Loved his judo. There's another one called Koga. He passed away now, but he loved his judo as well. Very good technicians. Yeah, it's mostly the technicians who have lots of different avenues to win, lots of different throws. I enjoy watching them and following them.
Awesome. I like that. Is there a favorite book that you've read recently that's motivational or encouraging or anything that you would recommend? You've got a big library behind you.
Yeah. So I like this. I'm following this. Actually, I'll show you.
Oh, nice. 11 things that require zero talent that will make you great. I like it.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
So I get a lot of quotes from these little books for the athletes because, they have to be motivated. My son gets very annoyed with me when I'm sending him screenshots of different things of what he should be doing. But I like these motivational kind of quotes. Short, but meaningful. Short but meaningful.
Short one.
Can you give us one now? Just give us one now, Maria, out of the book, just for we could use that as our catchphrase for this podcast.
Oh, well, one of them is, it's the talent versus the hard work. Which is, I'm not even sure if it's in there, but hard work will always win if talent doesn't work hard.
Yes,
basically.
Yeah.
So I 100% believe in that and live by that.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that one. That's a good one. All right, I've got two more for you, my dear.
Yep.
Can you drive a manual car?
I did my license on a manual car, but I never drove a manual car. So I'm not sure if I could, if I had to.
The memories will come
flooding. Yes, I'm sure you could. You've learnt it, so you could.
Long time ago.
It's in there somewhere. That's a classic. And then the last one, do you wear Crocs?
To the garden, yes. I do.
But not out in public, so that's a win. That's good.
Just bury them.
Yes.
Just bury them out there.
No, but I have to say the kids come to training with Crocs, and there's whole colors of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Every day, you have to look for which one is which.
Yes.
Belongs to
They
me.
are popular.
Very popular. Yes.
Very.
Yes. So as I said, thanks again, Maria, for giving up your time. It's been a long time coming. I've had many of our listeners request your presence on this show. So thank you once again for giving up your time. We are primarily a jiu-jitsu podcast, but yeah, we're a grappling podcast. So yeah, we love to have our judo friends on when we can. Brentos, did you want to do the wrap up?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Maria. Just to reiterate what Kim said, we really appreciate you coming on. And to be honest, 5 Olympics, I don't think we'll beat that ever. So probably one of our most esteemed guests. And as I say, like I do feel like I know you, even though we've never really met. Kieran speaks so highly of you. And as a resilient person and as a technical grappler, he was sort of saying to me, I don't think you'd ever lost. I think he said something like, I don't think he had ever seen you lose a match in Australia until the Olympics. He goes, it was just phenomenal. He said, you just threw everyone. So congratulations on your amazing career. And I'm sure you've been in the jiu-jitsu, in the judo world for such a long time. It's just going to benefit everybody in that community. So well done. We will leave it there. Thank you guys for joining us in another episode of the Roll or Die podcast. Thank you for sharing this wide, split it out into the judo community. I think there'll be some cool people out there that would benefit from listening to this and Maria's advice too. So that would be really cool. And then for you judo people wanting to get into jiu-jitsu, jump on in. And then for us jiu-jitsu people, maybe we should all get a goal and see if we can get our yellow belts at least in judo. I think there's some cool people out there that will help, some cool clubs out there. So maybe we should put that on our bucket list to get to at some stage. That's it. We'll leave it there. That is another episode of Roll or Die. Please like, rate, share. Tell your friends about it. We've got a couple of T-shirts left, so shoot us a message and we'll send those out to you. They've been discounted by a little bit, so send them out. We will see everybody on the next episode of Roll or Die. Thank you, legends. Peace.
Thank you, guys.